seated for the Advent candle lighting.
In this season of Advent, as we go about our business, we have a hard time imagining life could be any different than it is. The shepherds, simple farmers, were doing just what they always did, what they'd always done.
God sent an angel to them, the last people one would expect to have anything exciting happen. God bypassed the rich and powerful, politicians and pundits, and went to the edges of society.
We light this candle for all the people who get overlooked, ignored, and pushed aside, knowing that God values us and them and us.
Lord, by your presence, light up the alleyways and under bridges, rooming houses and homeless shelters, and abandoned buildings of our cities. Light up the broken down ramshackle houses in our rural places. Come with sweet celestial music into our forgotten churches and renew your message and your hope. Amen.
Let us join our voices in singing verse 4 of Hope is a Star, number 7 in Voices United.
Good morning. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. The poem I'm going to share with you this morning I wrote in 2007. Graham was 4 and he was in junior kindergarten. But before I begin, I would like you to first imagine outside covered in white. This one's entitled Snow is the Thing This Year. It seems that we've let ourselves completely forget that pure Canadian cold stuff that gets us all wet. I'm continually reminded from our son, who's just 4, that without snow, Mommy, Christmas is just a big bore. Every day after school, he's only focused on one thing: how much of this wet stuff he can secretly fling. And can we please build a snowman so grand that it would make Frosty look like he needed a hand? All this focus on snow from our JKer and peers has made me think perhaps we should try to shift gears. From stressed out over all of the Christmas pressures we fret, to how much of this white stuff we can possibly net. My son sees more value in how high the snow piles, and I'm starting to remember how this white stuff brings smiles. He measures the day's success as the sun sets into frost. If the snow on our lawn towers, then the day is not lost. So I'm thinking that our Christmas stress would be over and done if we all took more seriously to time in the snow and the sun. Perhaps there would be ways to give snow sculptures as gifts. Okay, they wouldn't last long, but we'd all hope for big drifts. As Canadians in winter, we love our hot drinks by the fire, where we sometimes share complaints of our taxes getting higher. We even sometimes forget to remember what's true. In all seasons here, we live in paradise, really we do. This Christmas, take time to watch children playing in snow. I bet it will remind you what you already know. That Christmas is not defined by the amount of shopping being done. It's how much we get outside and experience free fun. So just get out there and treat snow like JKers do. Throw it and mold it and make it stick just like glue. Giggle and wiggle and laugh all of your stresses away, and probably the smile on your face all season will stay. And in the midst of all this free fun we'll be living, our hearts will open up to more sharing and giving. Some Christmas joy will sneak through your boots and wet gloves, and you'll see in your life what you truly appreciate and love. Merry Christmas.
Our first reading this morning comes from Luke's Gospel, chapter 2, verses 1 through 7, the birth of Jesus. In those days Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken of the entire Roman world. This was the
first census that took place while Quirinius was governor of Syria, and everyone went to his own town to register. So Joseph also went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to Bethlehem, the town of David, because he belonged to the house and line of David. He went there to register with Mary, who was pledged to be married to him and was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born, and she gave birth to the firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in cloths and placed him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. Our second reading comes from Luke's Gospel again, chapter 2, beginning in verse 8. Shepherds and the angels. And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. Today, in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is Christ the Lord. This will be a sign to you. Lord, you will find a baby wrapped in clothes and lying in a manger." Let us rejoice in the coming of our Savior.
Who is Harold and what was his message? We hear about the herald angel. An angel that comes to talk to the shepherds about something important. Is the angel important? When I look at these angels that we've been gathering together through this Advent season, we're now at Advent 4, so our fourth angel. And out of these four angels, two of them have a known history. They come from a home where they have been part of the Christmas celebrations for who knows how long. Probably even the people who set them out each year are not sure how long they've had them. The other two have a more checkered past. Maybe. Hard to say. Don't really know. They were rescued. I wonder about these angels. Today's angel, playing a fiddle with a broken bow, came from Value Village. It's a beautiful angel. And at some point, somebody, I don't know whether it was last year or 2 years ago or 10 years or 20 years ago, I have no idea, saw that angel. And that angel spoke to them to the point where they said, "I want to take that angel home and have it grace my home, probably at Christmas." Maybe she stood atop a Christmas tree each year. Maybe it was on a mantle or on a side table, or perhaps she adorned the dining table on Christmas Day when the family gathered from all around. She was special. She had meaning, and she was treated with care. She doesn't have any dust on her at all. Not a speck of it. Her dress is nice and flouncy. It's like she had been important. Then at some point, whoever owned this angel, whether it was because her wings had become tattered, or her bowstring broke or fell off or whatever, decided they didn't want her anymore. Now, they could have just thrown her in the trash, but clearly the meaning of the years was more important than that. And they thought, well, she's not welcome in our home anymore, but maybe she needs to go somewhere else. Maybe somebody else will see her and say, that angel needs to come to my home for a while. We live in a very cynical age when it comes to things like angel appearances. We live in a very cynical age that when it comes to anything of a, what you might call a spiritual encounter of almost any kind. The fastest growing religious group in North America and certainly Europe is those, when asked what their religion is, check off none. And for those under the age of 30, that's the majority, have none. And I wonder about that. How did that happen? How did the messages that prior generations have had at the center of their understanding of life, community, the universe, become something that is no longer welcome? Somebody else might find value in that, and so it's put in a bin behind the local value village, and maybe somebody else will pick it up and take it home, and it will be valued there. There's no begrudging of that. How does it happen? I think of life on the farm. Now, I grew up as a city boy. I grew up in the inner city. I grew up in places where everywhere I looked there were buildings, and everything that I saw was made and maintained by human hands. And then as a student, I went and served in a rural pastoral charge. And for a time, I got to live in other people's homes and see what life was like on the farm. And it is different. We were just talking about this the other day, about things like straw ticks. Ever slept on one of those? I'll describe it to you. The bed that I slept in this one home that I stayed on occasion through my time at the Millbank Pastoral Charge, I slept on a rope bed with a feather, well, there was a feather tick on top of the straw tick. Now, the straw had to be replaced weekly because it kind of crunches down and loses its loft after a little while. But every night before bed, you would have to get in there, and there was a spindle that you turned that had the rope around it, and you would tighten it up, and then put the peg in to hold it so it would, all unwind, and everything would fall down the floor. You tighten it up, tighten it up, tighten it up, tighten it up, until you couldn't tighten it anymore, stick the peg in, and that would keep the bed flat. And the rope kind of went back and forth, across and up and down like that, and then the straw mattress, which was about that thick, would set on top of the rope, and then on top of that there was the feather tick that was about, an inch and a half thick, and that sat on top of that. And then your bedding was all on top of that. And by the morning, your bed was like this. A nice view. And through the night, you would hear things. You would hear things that you don't hear if you're on a nice modern city bed. You hear that every time you move, there's all sorts of grunts and groans, and they're not coming from you. For the first while, I wondered what was in the room with me. But outside, the sky is large. Outside, there is cars going by. You never hear a siren. If you hear a siren, you know somebody's dead. There is no helicopter flying over with a great spotlight shining down on you every night like it is in Oshawa. And the sky is so different. Here you can look up and you can spot all 8 stars that are visible. And every once in a while you'll see one of the planets kind of pop above the horizon for a couple of months before it dips down again and is gone. And you're back to the 8 that you always see. You never see things like the Seven Sisters. But out in the countryside, the sky is big and the stars dominate. There is a field of them, beyond counting. And if you happen to have access to a telescope, and you look into that, and all of a sudden the depth of it blows your mind. It's not pinpricks in a black cloth. It has depth beyond telling. There is so much more out there than we can possibly imagine. When you live in a rural society, you become aware of the smallness of your own self. You become aware of the importance of connection with your neighbors, even though you may only see them, and I mean see them, once a week when you all get together for worship on the Sunday morning. The rest of the time, their farm is not in sight. And unless you go to see them, you don't see them. It's different. We're at a place in our history where even our disasters are largely made by humans. And we think of climate change. We know that that's not the hand of God anymore. That's the hand of all of our automobiles. We know that. And we feel we are responsible now to fix it. Some of us discount that. They don't believe that there is such a thing as climate change. And if it is ordained by God, just like it always was. And we're out of step with that. The herald angel in the modern mindset cannot be explained. We cannot get our heads around it without thinking of it being either something alien, because we've seen lots of movies about aliens, haven't we? You know, movie magic. Well, it's just a movie, right? It's just a movie. That's not true. It's just fiction. It's something that somebody made up and created a thing, a spectacle for us to go and spend our money to see. Or if it's not an alien, it is a special effect. It is something that, well, if we can just get to the source of it, we can see the projector, and just like you go to Disney and somehow images move on a wall of water, and we know that there's technology, because of course technology is the source of everything that happens in our world. And we discount the events that happened to those shepherds out in the field watching their flocks at night. We don't do that anymore. We don't watch them at night. We have remote sensors that will pick up the coyote as it crosses the farm boundary, and the light will go on and we'll take its picture and we'll know it's there. And we can get out there and deal with it if we need to. So, out at night, guarding the flocks, we don't do that anymore. because we don't do that anymore, we lose touch with that great, wide, mysterious, troubling world. It's all a matter of streets and avenues, of buildings and infrastructure. That's our world. The shepherds saw something. It was outside of their understanding. They couldn't describe it in any way other than movement. And so they moved. And they did what that happening inspired them to do. And we still do those kind of things, don't we? When we were up at Harmony Hill on Thursday, I was talking to the folks there about a parade. People will gather along the sides of the street in the city, and they will know that something is going to happen that doesn't happen every day. And you watch the children as the excitement starts to build. And you'll see one, an 8-year-old boy will dart out to the middle of the road, and he'll look and he'll jump up and down to see if he can see just a little bit farther, and he'll come running back. And a little while later, he'll go running out again, and he'll come running back. And then finally he'll go out there, and you just see the excitement just ramp up so that he is just bouncing in the street. And he'll look back and he will point and wave, and he sees the lights. To him, they could be the lights of angels. They are the lights of the police cruiser that leads the parade. Sure, we know that. But the child does not know that, but knows that it is coming. What it's going to be, not really sure, but it's coming. And it's going to be big, and it's going to be fantastic. And then you can hear it. You hear the booming of the bass drum. You hear the sound systems. You hear the bands. You hear it before you see it. And then it rounds the corner, and the crowd is on their feet. And the parade arrives. The herald angel is that light at the beginning that something is going to be starting really soon. Something that is going to change the world, that's going to change your life, is happening really soon. And they go to see. They go to see what the herald angel is talking about. They got to check it out. They got to find, because they know that this is not normal, not regular, not typical, not the way life works. Well, here we are, Advent 4. We've been in this season of preparation. We are that 8-year-old boy who's running out into the street and saying, "Not yet." And again, "Not yet." It's coming. It's coming. And it's the thing that can change the world that's coming. Now, we live in a world that is skeptical. Oh, yes. We live in a world that's sure that everybody that's religious is just following a set of rules that are antiquated. But the message of the herald angel is that something is about to happen that is going to make it all make sense if we but just go and see it. Christmas is coming. And it's coming whether we are ready or not. It's coming whether we are with family and friends or not. It's coming whether we come to church on Christmas Eve and celebrate with the pageant and the singing of carols and sharing the late night candlelight communion or not. Or whether we wake up on Christmas morning and there is a sparkle on the new fallen snow or not. Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming, and it is the coming of the newborn Christ child. And the herald angel is saying that that Christ child is going to be born in the most unexpected of places, but at the same time the most familiar of places. Because there's one thing that shepherds know, is they know what a manger is. That is at the core of their life. That is where Jesus is coming in your life. The core of your life. You figure out what the core of your life is, and that's where you're going to find the baby Jesus born for you. Thanks be to God. Hearken to the angel's voice. Be of good cheer. Get ye to Bethlehem and see this thing. God bless you now and always.